as Britain comes to terms with the loss of Queen Elizabeth II.
Oh, she's just fabulous, absolutely fabulous.
And the arrival of King Charles III, The Economist's editor-in-chief, Zanny Minton Beddoes, and Britain correspondent, Nixey, discuss what the Queen's death means for Britain and the future of the British monarchy.
In one sense, the reaction is wholly unsurprising. She was Britain's oldest, longest reigning monarch. She appeared on more currencies than any living person. You couldn't send a letter without seeing her face. And she's woven into the fabric of British life. But she was also, in a way, very domestic. We were kind of you felt very close to her. Walter Bagehot, a Victorian writer and one of the greatest editors of The Economist, said that the thing about monarchy is it brings sovereignty down to the level of everyday life. And that's what she did. We felt we knew her. So it's not surprising that it feels strange that she has gone.
Monarchy, is the ultimate elitist institution rooted in the privilege of birth. And we're in this environment where elites are out, but somehow under Queen Elizabeth, the British monarchy has been a product of fascination for everybody around the world. This is a lot to do with Queen Elizabeth herself.
There's no doubt that changes of monarchy are destabilising times for countries. They always have been. When Henry VII died, his courtiers were so worried that this would fatally destabilise the Tudor dynasty that they hid his body in his rooms for 2 days and continued to bring his corpse meals as though it were alive. And even in the era of Victoria, when Victoria died, the novelist Henry James said, "We all feel motherless today." So this is an unnerving time. And I think because of the length of her reign and also because of who she is, it feels particularly unnerving for Britain. It felt like she epitomised a certain sort of Britishness that Britain liked about itself. She was stoical, she worked hard, she kept her emotions under her hats in a way that is starting to feel like something that was from the past. It feels like she has, in going, something that tethered us to an era of our history that Britain was proud of has also gone.
Someone said to me in the past week, and it was a very striking thing, they said, when everybody around the world descends on London for Queen Elizabeth's funeral, it will be the last time that dozens of heads of state descend on London. And I wonder whether that's true. I think it certainly is the passing of the monarch who has presided over a period of Britain's growing diminishment on the global stage. And it sort of feels that this marks a moment where we are now becoming the mid-sized country we really are. But it is an institution that will endure.
In a very practical sense, it matters that there's a new monarch on the British throne because of the Commonwealth. So the monarch is also head of the Commonwealth. And it's an enormous institution, 2.5 billion people, 56 countries. And the Queen was the head of it, and she loved it, and she spent an enormous amount of time working to keep it together. Prime Minister of New Zealand said once that she was the glue that kept it all together. For a long time, there have been worries that without the Queen at the helm, that the whole thing will start to, if not wholly come apart, then the bonds between it will start to weaken.
There will be concerns about the future of the monarchy, as there always are. At the beginning of every new reign, people will feel that Charles III does not have the stature and indeed approach of his mother. But at the same time, I think the monarchy plays an incredibly important role in Britain. There's been much talk about King Charles wanting to slim down the royal family. I think there'll be a lot of talk about that, but there won't be very much action. And probably nothing much will happen for a while. So it will take some time for King Charles to be crowned king. And thereafter, his will be a much shorter reign than his mother's. And then there is the next generation. And I think he is in a position where the excitement will be with the next generation. But I suspect that the fascination around the world with this family and the role that the constitutional monarchy plays in the UK is not going anywhere.
Charles's greatest challenge is that we know him far too well. The corollary of the longest reigning monarch is the longest reigning heir apparent. And while he has been heir apparent, we've all had a very good chance to have a very good look at him. So we know about his disastrous marriage to Diana. We know about his affair with Camilla Parker Bowles, who is now his consort. And we know about his own passions and his interests, and also that he has pressed those passions and interests a little bit more than most people feel is correct for a royal in a constitutional monarchy. So Charles's difficulty will be to show that the things that people fear about him are not going to be there in his reign.
I speak to you today.
And it was striking. He gave his first public speech as monarch the day after his mother died.
Throughout her life, Her Majesty the Queen, my beloved mother, was an inspiration, an example to me and to all my family.
It was very notable that in his speech he came not only to praise his mother, but also to bury some of the criticisms that have been levelled at him over the years. So he used the word duty 4 times in his speech. He used the word example 3 times, twice in his first paragraph. So he was sending a clear message. He was saying, she is going to be my model. So far, the British public seem to be mellowing towards him. So his YouGov ratings showed that those who think that he was going to do a good job had risen from 32% to almost double that, 63% in just a week. However, within less than 7 days of his reign starting, he was seen to have what looked almost like a little temper tantrum because his ink pen stopped working.
Oh, God, I hate it.
I think the public mood could quite quickly dip if we see too much more of that from him.
You're right, too much light let in on magic could show a character that may not be as appealing as his mother.
Yeah, I think there is a real danger of that. And if he can't even hold it together for a full week, it will be interesting to see how he behaves in the coming years, even decades.
To read more of The Economist's coverage on the death of Queen Elizabeth II, click the link. Thank you for watching.